23rd of June, the people of Britain voted to leave the European Union.
The Article 50 process is now underway, and in accordance with the wishes of the British people, the United Kingdom is leaving the European Union. This is an historic moment from which there can be no turning back. I have just chaired a meeting of the Cabinet where we agreed that the government should call a general election to be held on the 8th of June.
We're just talking about betting here. You're a famous betting man. Did you bet?
The market I trust most of all is not your parade of first-class sophologists like John Curtis. It's the exchange betting market, which is people have exchanged now £82 million in real money. And on that exchange market, it's come in. I mean, leave has come in from 14 to 1 to about 7 to 4 in the course of the last 2 hours. But it's still staying as the favourite in that market. So David, if he absolutely believes it's going to be a leave, he can now finance his leadership campaign for the Conservative Party.
And I used to.
So Theresa May's snap general election campaign is nearly over, and where my forecast conclusion is for the Conservatives to win with 358 seats on a majority of 66, with Labour losing 20 seats, falling to 212. So, following my forecast conclusion, my search has been on to identify spread and exchange betting market opportunities for these last few days and then hours ahead of the final election result. Firstly, understand that trading markets, betting, gambling are high risk activities, and a forecast is not written in stone. It is what I deem to be the most probable outcome, and that most people who gamble tend to lose in the long run, with losses usually exceeding deposits. So if you don't have the stomach to take a loss, then do not trade or bet. I've been using the spread betting markets for over 30 years now, starting with IG Index, and now have a half a dozen accounts. For this election, the recent mid-price being quoted by the spread better financial spreads are for the Conservatives on 365 and Labour on 201. Therefore, the Tories are currently trading at 365 against my forecast of 358, which on face value at the moment does not appear to present much of a spread betting opportunity. However, market volatility is very high. For example, a couple of weeks ago, the Tories were trading on 395 against Labour on 171. And this graph further illustrates Conservative seats market volatility. Now, before you think that given the current price is not far from my forecast, then there's not much of an opportunity for spread betting out there. However, there are also risk-free opportunities when one compares prices across spread betting market makers, i.e. arbitrage opportunities. For instance, here are the quotes I got from 3 spread traders at 6 PM on Tuesday. So here the arbitrage was to buy IG Conservative seats at 361 and sell financial spreads at 365 for a risk-free locked-in profit of 4 points per amount bet, i.e. £100 per seat would convert into a risk-less arbitrage locked-in profit of £400, no matter what the result of the election turned out to be. Or you could buy Labour at 203.5 on financial spreads and short Labour at 208 on IG, thus locking in a 4.5 points profit per pound bet. Thus profiting by locking in profits from the difference in price of seats quoted between spread bet market makers. And is, as usually the case for events such as elections, is to expect increased market price volatility that is likely to result in many short-term arbitrage opportunities over the final hours as we count down to the election result. Therefore, I expect volatility in the wake of, for instance, YouGov's crazy polls to deliver market opportunities both in the countdown and in the immediate aftermath of the UK general election result, just as occurred during the US presidential election and EU referendum. So it could be worth keeping a very close eye on a number of spread bettors for significant deviations from my forecast and from one another's prices for arbitrage opportunities. BetFair is another favourite of mine as it presents a myriad of betting options. So having scoured BetFair market, then these are the bets that caught my attention. The forecast majority is 66, therefore a high reward profit potential exists given the price of 6.4 for 50 to 74 seats range. However, given the tightness of these ranges, then there would be a need for a smaller hedging bets on either side of the expected range, i.e. 25 to 49 and 75 to 99 seats. For example, £100 bet on 50 to 74 should be hedged with £20 on 25 to 49 and £20 on 75 to 99. The opportunity here is a lot tougher as the forecast of 358 is towards the bottom of the range on offer. So this market favours an error in the forecast being to the upside rather than to the downside. For instance, not towards what house prices are forecasting, i.e. 342. Also, the profit potential is poor at just £95 per £100 bet, whilst the bet on the forecast being out by 10 seats would favour 300 to 349 seats bet price of 3.75. So similarly, two bets to cover the range 300 to 400 is probably the better trade here, so it's to hedge the forecast being wrong on the downside. Again, the odds are nothing to shout about, but the distance of 371 to 358 gives a 13 seat margin of error for a price of 1.79. So maybe a smaller hedge bet to cover being wrong on the downside. And once more, whilst today's prices may not be great, however, polling induced market volatility could present a series of opportunities over the coming day. So these final hours until the results are known is the time period to keep a close eye on the betting markets. And I will likely once more publish a list of my winning election positions after the election, just as I had for the US presidential election. So remember not to get carried away. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose, because it is a gamble. We are gambling on the result, and as Trump and Brexit illustrated, most people who bet on those elections lost money. And ensure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel, as after this election I will be reverting back to market analysis and trend forecasts.